Hello and welcome. We are live. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're doing well. Where are you tuning in from? Tell me in the chat. We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for today. Today, we're going to talk about how to raise kids who know the value of money. Nobody wants to raise kids who feel entitled, right? We want to raise kids who know the value of money and who are able to create value for themselves, bring value to the marketplace. Have you ever noticed how some kids seem to appreciate what they have while other kids expect everything to be handed to them? Some children naturally become more responsible, resourceful, and independent, while others grow up constantly consuming, constantly wanting more, struggling to understand the value behind money. No parent wants that because at the end of the day, we want our children to be self sufficient and to be able to thrive even when we are no longer here. That's the goal, right? Because if we raise entitled kids, guess what? When they leave home or when we are older and we pass, they're not going to thrive. They're going to find it difficult to survive in the real world. And here's what's very important: children are not born understanding the value of money. Okay, we all learn the value of money. We learn from what we model. Our children learn from what we model, what we reward, what we normalize, and the opportunities we give them to experience responsibility. One of the biggest reasons, and I think the biggest mistakes many parents make, is assuming children will somehow figure out how money works later. But by the time many people become adults, they've already developed years of unhealthy money habits, entitlement, poor decision making, fear around money, and dependence on others. So, in today's session, I want to talk about how we can intentionally raise children who appreciate money, understand the value of money, and develop the skills, the confidence, and responsibility they need to actually thrive in the real world. So, if you are watching live, say live. If you are catching the replay, say replay. I always come back to respond to all of the amazing comments. I'm always very excited to hear what other parents are experiencing in their families, because I'm raising a daughter. My daughter is now 7, and I am so intentional about the habits, the money habits I emulate around her, because she's looking at me, not just what I say, she's looking at how I behave around money. The core idea I want to share with you today is children appreciate money more when they participate in value creation, not just consumption. So let me say that again. Children appreciate money more when they participate in the creation of money, in the creation of value, not just receiving things. I've seen this over and over again. A child receives toys, clothes, devices like phones or iPads, money, and experiences constantly, but never understands, where does money come from? How do people work for money? How are decisions made? Now, I'm going to backtrack. How do people work for money, and how does money work to create more money? Okay, because ultimately, we want to teach our kids, yes, we work for money, but we also make our money work for us. So ultimately, we are creating wealth that doesn't depend on us trading hours for dollars. We also want our children to understand how we make decisions around money, how value is created, and what happens. Everything becomes normal, everything becomes expected, but something powerful changes when your child starts to participate. For example, helping to earn money for something they want, starting a business, a mini business, saving for a goal, solving problems, bringing value to the marketplace by plugging a gap in the market, them identifying the gap in the market and bringing the value to the market, contributing to the family, creating something useful for other people so other people pay them for it. And when all of these happen, suddenly they begin to understand money represents effort. Money represents value creation. Money requires decisions around money. And that understanding changes the way they think. They start to view money completely differently. They start to have a healthy respect for money. And the way I love to teach this is I want kids to see money as a fun game, right? Not something to be afraid of, because I grew up so afraid of money because of what money represented for me and my family, because money was such a strong hold on my family. And so I am so intentional about children growing up seeing money as a fun thing, because when something is fun, you don't run away from it, you enjoy creating it. And that's where we want our children to be. One practical mistake many parents make is giving children things without attaching responsibility, contribution, or learning to the process. Now, let me be clear. There's nothing wrong with blessing our children. I bless my child all the time. But if children only experience receiving without learning effort, patience, delayed gratification, problem solving, or responsibility, they can unintentionally develop entitlement instead of appreciation. And entitlement is dangerous because the world doesn't reward entitlement, the world rewards value creation. So tell me in the chat, are you intentionally helping your child with value creation? Like, how do you currently teach your child about money? How do you currently teach your child about how money is created? Do you just give them pocket money that they then save, or do you help them understand how money is created? Because this is so important. I want to know, are you intentionally teaching them how money is created? Because at the end of the day, we create money, right? So tell me in the chat, how are you currently teaching your child about value creation? What intentional money or life skills are you teaching your child when it comes to self-sufficiency, confidence, able to bring their value to the marketplace, critical thinking, problem solving? All of these, we need to be very intentional about how we teach our child. So here's something simple that parents can start implementing immediately. Instead of automatically buying everything for your child when they want it, start involving them in the process. For example, you could ask, how could you earn part of this? What problem could you solve? What could you create? How long would it take you to save for this? I have a very interesting story. So my child, Ivy, she was gonna, what was it she was gonna buy? Oh yeah, it was lollipop, right? So the school sent this email, and because it's now summer, they gave us specific days where lollipop will be served in schools, in the school. So I think it's like $2 a day for each of the days. So it was gonna come up to like $20 for all of the days. So I saw the email, obviously, and I ignored it because I'm like, that's too much sugar for her to have in school. Because like every parent, like most parents, I'm very intentional about what she consumes. So I kind of ignored the email. So she comes home about 3 days later and she said, Mom, many of my friends at school had lollipop today. And when I asked, they said my mom or my dad had to pay for it. I said, oh, that's interesting. And she goes, I really, really want it. I really, really want it. And I said, okay. Now she has a piggy bank where she keeps her money. Like she so loves that piggy bank. She's always going to count her money. So I said, okay, so it's gonna be $20. How many do you want? She said she wants for the whole days it will be served. I said, okay, it's gonna be $20. Go get $20 from your piggy bank. And this is exactly what she said to me. She said, I don't want to waste my money. I'm like, okay, so who do you think wants to waste money? She said, Mommy, you use your money. I said, no. If you really, really want the lollipop at school, it's $20. You give it to me because the school doesn't accept cash. Give it to me. I'm going to go log in online and pay. Guess what? She said, okay, in that case, I don't want it. Obviously, I was so shocked, but I didn't show her I didn't allow her to know I was shocked. I'm like, oh, okay. So if it was mommy's money, you were very adamant you wanted the lollipop. But now I asked you to pay with your money because obviously it takes her time to save it, right? So the point I'm telling you is you can ask your child, how long will it take you to save for this, right? So the way Ivy earns money is she does chores around the house. Sometimes, obviously, we want our children to have like to feel that sense of responsibility of contributing to the home. So not every chore do I pay her for. So, for example, in my office, when she comes and let's say things on my desk, I have my desk here, my books, and let's say it's quite untidy, I would say, okay, Ivy, do you want to help me tidy up and arrange? I have some drawers here. Can you help me arrange the drawers? And I will pay you. I'll pay you $2, right? So she does stuff like that for me, and I pay her. So she knows it takes her time to earn $20. So that's why I think what's going on in her mind about, oh, it's going to take me a while to earn this $20 back. Okay, so how long will it take for you to save for this? That's something I want you to start asking your child. All of these questions I gave you, how could you earn it? What problem could you solve? How could you create it? How long will it take you to save for it? These questions help them to learn patience, setting goals, responsibility, problem solving, and ownership. Children value things differently when they participate in the process. Children need to experience responsibility, and that's another important thing. Confidence grows through responsibility. Many parents want confident children, but confidence doesn't come from constantly rescuing your children from discomfort. There's some types of discomfort that is okay for our children to experience as a way of growth. Confidence grows when children grow. Okay, confidence grows when children solve problems, make decisions, communicate, contribute, and learn from mistakes. That's how they will grow their confidence. And this one reason is why entrepreneurship is so powerful for children. So you might be thinking, I don't think my child is cut out for entrepreneurship. Maybe your child will grow up and go work for somebody else. That's okay. But the lessons they learn from learning entrepreneurship skills, it will set them up for more so much more pleasant life. So even something like running a lemonade stand or pet sitting or selling bracelets, helping a neighbor mow the lawn and they get paid, creating art, offering a service, all of these teaches children I can create value. I can solve problems. I can contribute. I can earn. That changes the way they see themselves. Like it's going to boost their confidence to a high level that you never even expected. One thing I encourage parents to do is create more opportunities for contribution at home. Not every task needs to automatically be paid. Like I explained, some responsibilities are simply part of contributing as a member of the family. But children should also have opportunities to create additional value and earn beyond their basic responsibilities like tidy your room, right? I'm not going to pay Ivy for tidying her room. Right. I always tell her the benefit of tidying your room is enjoying a tidy room. That's the benefit. And that distinction matters a lot because we want children to understand responsibility, contribution, and initiative. The future is changing. Honestly, I think this matters more today than ever before. The world our children are growing up in is constantly changing. Look at how AI is transforming jobs and industries. Technology is changing jobs. Competition is increasing. The children who thrive in the future will be the children who don't just memorize information just to pass a test. There will be the children who can think critically, communicate confidently, solve problems in the marketplace, bring value to the marketplace, communicate that value, adapt, create opportunities, and understand how value works. That's why I believe parents must become more intentional about teaching real world life skills early. And honestly, that's exactly why I created the Wealth Builders Academy for kids and teens because after working with hundreds of adults over the past 4 years, I realized something that is really heartbreaking. So many intelligent, hardworking adults struggle financially and emotionally simply because nobody taught them these skills early. So, inside of my Wealth Builders Academy, we help children develop financial confidence, leadership skills, entrepreneurial thinking, communication abilities, critical thinking, responsibility, confidence, and real world life skills that are not taught in schools. Skills like how to bring value to the marketplace, how to identify a gap in the marketplace, fill that gap, and get paid for it. If you are a parent who wants your child to become more confident, more responsible, more independent, more entrepreneurial, and more prepared for the real world, I'd love for you to explore the program. You can click the link in my bio to view the full curriculum of the 6 week program. It's a 6 week program, a group program, but we also offer one on one coaching and family centered learning experiences. And if you have any question at all, feel free to send me a DM directly. I answer all of my DMs. Feel free to send me a DM if you have any questions. But if you go to the link in bio, you're going to see a PDF, a free PDF that shows you step by step everything we cover in the program. I genuinely believe that the earlier we begin to teach our children these skills, the more equipped they will be for a future of success, the more they'll be able to thrive in the future. If you found this video useful, please help me share it with another parent you know could benefit from learning these skills and from knowing that this kind of support is available. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below or send me a private DM. I hope you have a fantastic day or night wherever you're tuning in from, and I'll see you next time.